We're back, and once again, this time we're actually with somebody of note. No, I'm just kidding. Matt, nobody really cares about Matt that much. No, actually, thank you
Nope.
for coming on, Matt. I really appreciate it. You guys know him from absolutely crushing it anytime a Lightning Hero's good, slinging cardboard, playing degenerate aggro decks, probably ruining your ProQuest in your entire area, and most recently, how'd you do at London?
I had a great time talking to friends
Yeah.
and hanging out.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, Matt's an actual badass over here in the Flesh and Blood community. He does a little bit of everything. He's like kind of a content or a social degen, kind of a hardcore player, kind of a cardboard salesman. The guy just like does it all, you know. So thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for
We're
having
here.
me.
Yeah, man, anytime. We're here to talk about Aurora, unfortunately. But you know, she's good and she's gonna be good until she LLs probably maybe even at the end of this ProQuest season. It's possible. Um, what is it about Aurora that makes you like want to play her?
I just think that I just love these aggressive decks that draw
Yeah,
cards and just go wide and just hit your opponent really hard and fast. And I think it's just like the most consistent deck at doing that right now.
I agree. Your track record of like what heroes have you played competitively in the past?
So I started out on Dash IE
Yep,
back
yep.
in Tails to Everfest meta,
Yeah,
and then I got on to I played five for a bit for that entire competitive year.
nice.
PT Lille and Worlds in San Jose I did. I
Mhm.
played Lexi for all of 2023 for as long as I could.
Yep.
I miss that hero, man. I miss
Yeah,
Voltaire.
yeah.
Um, 2024 came around. I played Victor at the start of the year. I was really all over the place last year.
Yeah, that's an interesting one for you.
A- Aggro Victor early on in the year.
I like it.
Then the Broken Zen deck. Played
Yeah.
it week
Okay.
one. Me and I think Jake Warburton
Hmm.
both got the day one wins on that. That was fun, seeing how
Yeah.
disgusting Bonds was. And
Yep.
then I ended the year on Aurora.
Yeah.
And I spent this year kind of waffling on what I liked, but so far we're on Aurora still.
Yeah. All right. I mean, so mostly aggro decks with some like absolute weird wild cards in there, like Victor and. I mean, what was it about Dash? Like, how'd you pick Dash first? I find that interesting.
Dude, so my background is in software engineering and
Hmm.
robotics,
Hmm.
and I just love the style and the aesthetic of the steampunk, the machines, the items. I think that like just like my all-time favorite aesthetic. That's why I've spent too much money on that class, man.
Yeah, I mean, my absolutely fucking worthless brute cards. I get it. um, I mean, you've got Polly coming up, little Polly bird. You also
Oh, dude,
have,
yeah, I love that bird.
yeah. Are you gonna spend too much money on the bird?
Oh, you know it. I want that Marvel bird. I want Marvel Golden Cogs. I want
Oh yeah,
all of it.
yeah. So full on mechanologist collecting degen. What do you think about Max's new stuff? I don't. I think it's fine, right?
I think it's okay. I think the common is like the best one, that Twin Tech Turbo Charge. I don't remember
Yeah,
what it's called, but it's like 0 for 3, and you can shuffle a pounder from, is it your banished into your deck
something like
in a
that. Yeah,
resource or your yard. I think that
yeah,
card's like really good. Putting the hyperdrivers back in your deck, like if you start with one as, I think it's actually the best dash, better in dash, right? You start with it at the start of
yeah,
the game and it breaks,
yeah.
and you can put it back in your deck and start all over again.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of have two promising heroes coming up. You've got Marlin.
Yeah,
Um, she kind of looks like she might be a Voltaire abuser. Oh wait, no,
I
not Voltaire, but
no
like
Voltaire's
uh
dead.
the helmet, right? Oh,
New Horizon.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I think that card with 3 of a kind is really, really stupid.
Yeah, dude, she's looking
Draw
good.
3, load 2 arrows,
Yeah,
go
she's
really
looking.
silly.
And then
But
Polly,
I think that she might be a fatigue deck though, with that
that weird four
that
bow.
bow where you have to
Yeah,
pay 4, and then you like
mhm,
shoot 1 for 5 and 2 for 6 arrows with the
yeah.
overpower. They're like harpoons.
Yeah, if she's a fatigue deck, that'd be kind of cool for a ranger. That's a weird
Yeah,
combo. I mean, Riptide, I guess. But so How did you get into Flesh and Blood in the first place? Like, did you come from other card games? Like, how'd you get into this niche?
Yeah, so I played Pokemon for like 10 years,
Oh, I
from
didn't
like
know that.
2010 onwards. And then COVID hit. I was kind of
Yep.
out of card games for about a year or so because of school and some other family things.
Mhm.
And then I moved temporarily for some family reasons, and I got back into card games, got back into Pokemon, and someone showed me Flesh and Blood at a game store right around about a month before Tails released, and it's been love ever since.
Huh. When did you get into Flesh and Blood?
I think that's August 2021,
What side is that?
like just before Tails, a month before Tails.
Oh wow, okay. So you're like a Monarch degen, kind of Tails degen too. Okay, that's right when I joined the game
Yeah,
ish.
I
Yeah.
think that's where most Americans got in. There's not
Yeah.
many Americans who got in earlier.
Yeah. The only people I know who got in earlier than that I've like ever met are the Fab Foundry guys. Like they were in it early. Um, but yeah, I just moved up to the
Yeah.
PNW, played card games. Thought it was weird, you know? It was fun. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean it's a great thing. It's
Yeah.
my favorite hobby I've ever had.
Yeah. A lot of friends came from it. I mean, your girlfriend came from it. That's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I love her to death. I'm so glad that I met her through this game.
That's so cute. Uh, you're so nice when we put you on video, dude. Maybe I should just film you at all times, dude. you're really you're really keeping it together right now.
She's making me act decent for the camera.
Oh, I see. We can't immortalize your snarkiness, huh? Um,
No, not yet.
so you kind of, I mean, you play this game competitively, right? You're on a team. So like
Yeah.
what's your how do you get into the competitive mindset? Like what's your schedule? What's your like your training? Because I remember when I first saw your name, it was in the Lexi
Mhm,
meta, and you were like kind
mhm.
of dominating during that period of time. That was when I first like ran into Matt, uh
Yeah.
boogeyman for me as a Reinhardt player.
So I want to say like end of 2022, I had a friend reach out to join their testing team, and we kind of just like spent all of 2023 together grinding, working on different decks. We realized that Lexi was really crazy for Baltimore when Outsiders came out, and so we
Yeah.
like dove really deep and really hard into that. And I just like poured hour after hour after hour into that. I was at a point where I was spending 12 hours a day, 6 days a week at times,
Yeah.
just working on that deck and trying to make the best AD I could for every event that I went to. And I think it's the best archetype that I think the game's ever had in it.
Think like the Lexi archetype, the
Yep,
or
like that deck with the Voltaire and all the arrows, constantly shooting multiple arrows every turn. I think if they powered down its power level a little bit, I think it would be just like one of the most popular decks in the game.
like if they just like took some of the more broken arrows down a peg or two. Yeah, I mean I could see it
Yeah,
because she was like really fun, right? It
yeah,
just she
oh
just
yeah,
was also super 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 strong, right?
yeah. Swinging a consistent 5 into 5 with on hits every turn is just like backbreaking. If it's like
Yeah,
fours into fours, it's not a big deal, but fives into
yeah.
fives, it's too much.
And it was like the random. It was honestly also the random frostbite she would give you, or like the random.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god! Like it's like okay, you just shot me for too much damage, and then like you ruined my entire turn with one frostbite.
yeah,
Like, oh, it's
oh
brutal.
yeah. I mean, she played like a generic ranger, right? Like it was a
Yeah,
lot of these generic arrows, but then she like lightning presses in the deck or
yeah,
Arctic incarcerations in the deck, and you just get these like really insanely powerful turns. Or I just gotta like flip up an Arctic incarceration in your arsenal,
yeah.
and now you have to spend this entire game of when do I keep my whole hand so that I can burn through this Arctic incarceration, or like do I just block out forever and get scared by the boogeyman? I
Yeah,
think those smaller cards are what made it so powerful
yeah,
and so much fun for me as a player.
yeah. What do you think about like I mean, a lot of stuff just happened. The BNR just came out, right?
Yeah.
So Zen's gone, Enigma's gone,
Yep.
Aurora's probably there's a chance she's gone by the end of this PQ season. There's a chance. Like, what
I
do you think the
think she
game
will
looks
be.
like?
So I think Aurora goes. She only
Yeah,
needs to win 76, which I know that's a long shot, but she won 26 this week, I think it said.
yeah, with Enigma
And
eating a
like,
bunch.
And Enigma's gone, so she'll probably pick up a few more every week, and I think she's gone at the end of ProQuest season. I
Yeah,
think I think it's also possible that like Florian and Verdance and New rise in meta share and become a lot stronger. I think
I
they're
think
some of the
so too.
strongest decks right now also.
Yeah, Florian
I
seems like that dark horse now. Like Enigma's gone. He had like 9 sideboard slots dedicated to that matchup, and it was a bad
yeah.
matchup. Now that that's gone, like he is kind of he's a beast, you know. He's a totally
Oh yeah.
disruptive, slow kind of monster.
Oh yeah.
Um
I think they're all good, but I think my dark horse is CYB Bravo.
oh yeah.
Only ran by Kale McCree, my goat
Only Kale.
himself.
So it's basically
Oh, only
Kale.
Kale.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think Kale's my goat. Kale's gonna win Singapore. I'm calling it now. 3 months early. I don't care.
Kale on Bravo versus Eugene on Reinar in the finals. You know what I mean? Like that's
That's exactly how it's gonna end. I believe
that's
it.
how
They're
it's
both
good.
my goats. I love both of those guys.
Yeah, dude, they're nuts. They're nuts. I think CYB Jarl might also start popping up now that Enigma's gone, but I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah, but I'm
sure.
playing Aurora, man. I don't want to talk about that. That scares me too much. I
Yeah,
play
yeah.
I play a deck with 3 blues. Channel Lake Frigid. I'll just go pick up my cards and go to lunch.
I'll just go home. Yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be a weird meta for a little bit. I mean, it's the most unknown
Yeah.
meta we've had with all of these heroes like rocket launching out all at the same time. And then like
Hmm.
once Aurora's gone, it's like the Wild West again. It's like who knows who's gonna be
Oh yeah.
good. Um, it'll be an interesting that season for sure.
I think it'll be a fun one. There's
I think
some
so too.
there's some countries that are worried about like heroes LLing from US Nats and from week one, so it won't even be legal for the
Oh,
third week one.
yeah, I can see that's
Like
actually an interesting.
I think this is the first year Australia is week three,
Mm,
and they're I have a couple of our testing partners in Australia, and they're worried about like the U.S. Nat. If Aurora doesn't go, then U.S. Nats might kick it, or the calling there, or week
yeah,
one,
yep.
and they're just worried about it screwing with them.
Yeah, the meta's gonna shift a lot. What do you think that High Seas is gonna bring in anything kind of spicy, or do you think those decks look a little too complicated?
I think Gravy Bones might be a little weak, but I'm
Yeah, I
supposed
do
to say
too.
it's the best thing ever, and you should buy into it and buy the Armory deck, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think he'll be a little weak. I think Puffin could be really good.
Hmm.
I think there's something to be said for all the items that
Yeah,
she can play and all the cranking of the cogs, but that'll be our deck where we need to see a lot of the cards from
yeah. Yeah, she
first,
seems
right?
like
Because
high
like we don't know
velocity.
how much we can do with cogs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true. Yeah, true, true. And then I guess there's Marlin. She just looks like generic ranger, so I don't know.
yeah.
But
She could do some broken one card hands.
yeah, true, true. Interesting. I think it's gonna be nuts. I think it's gonna be exciting. Who are you looking at next if Aurora's gone? Like if your hero's gone, what hero do you think?
If we don't lose New, I'll probably be playing New.
Oh, gross.
I forgot to say this. I spent a month earlier this year, the RTN season, playing New,
Okay.
but playing the Mark New that Cody Gebert took to second in Christchurch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I spent the month playing that, working with him a bit on that.
Hmm. Yeah, New will be strong for a while too, right? There's no way she's
Yeah,
losing any share at all.
unlike well, the does she go?
Yeah, true.
Because she's up
That's
there too. She's at like 700 something also.
yeah, that's true. And with all these decks leaving, she might
With
just
Enigma gone and
yeah,
Enigma being her boogeyman, who
yeah.
knows?
It's like Florian, New. I mean Aurora for sure. And maybe like a guardian might like start coming to the top. I don't know. What do you think about the illusion prism's like the only one left, right? She might fall off. I think if you can tech for prism, she stops being as good.
I don't know. I think Prism's really strong right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Enigma wasn't a great matchup for her historically. I think
Yeah.
it's become more of a 50-50 recently, and then I'm not sure that the Zen matchup matters, but she's like pretty good into a lot of the decks that are currently up there where we think, right, with Aurora and Verdance.
Yeah.
I think she could be really strong in this meta.
There's a lot of good wizards right now. They're all kind of pretty good. Like Kano's gonna be pretty high up there, I think.
Yeah.
Verdance is gonna be pretty
Kano's a
high.
boogeyman. I think I think one of the things that I've talked about recently is if Aurora goes, Kano could just be the best deck
Yeah, for sure.
because
Actually,
there's nothing aggressive enough to just kill him. Everything's
yeah,
too slow, and he
yeah,
can just sit here and build up a dumb combo and wildfire you.
yeah. It's like this might be the first time that we've had like multiple wizards in like the A-ish tier. You know what I mean? Verdance,
Yeah.
Kano, even Acilia could be like a little weird, dangerous sometimes. He just might be the hardest one to get to work.
Oh yeah, man. I played against an Acilio this weekend, and I was still having to read half the cards because I didn't really know
Yeah,
what the deck did.
I don't
And
either. It's so
the guy
confusing.
playing it told me that he brought it thinking hoping that people wouldn't know what it did, so he could just blow them out with some
Yeah,
big combo.
that's funny. All right, so you just went undefeated at your
Yeah,
ProQuest. Was this the first one you participated in?
yeah. It was first one, day one of the
Damn.
season.
Just
Eight
one
and zero.
shot undefeated your first event. Give me a quick rundown of like your matchups in there.
Yeah, so it was. I started out the day against a Dash IO. It was
Okay.
pretty solid. He whipped a few times on items. I found a channel Light and Valley, so I kind of just got him. Round two of the day was another aggro deck. I was just faster than it. Put into an Enigma round three where I did one of the most disgusting lines ever. Uh, I he gave me a 5 card hand with two CLVs on the board, and I kind of
Oh.
just like swung everything at him. He had no ward on board. One of those CLVs drew it down and dirty, and I arsenaled it. And he kept 2 cards in his hand, and
Phantasm plasm.
Phantasmaclasm me, and I popped it
Oh.
from Arsenal.
Oh no, gross, dude.
I had a double burn up the couple turns later where he had two G in hand, so it was a slaughter fest.
that's a
He
that's a
had
high roll,
he
dude.
had very little hope.
That's a high roll. Okay.
My other let me check. I've got it here. I can tell you. I then played that Acilio I was telling you about.
Yep.
And then in the last round of Swiss, I played another Aurora player, and he was like, I kind of just want to break and I want to go to lunch, so we're not going to play this game. You win. And I was like, okay. Um, I think I would have, because I was on that Andre Mengucci list that
Hmm.
had 9 defense reactions,
Yeah.
and I think that version gets a big edge in the mirror with all
Okay.
those 0 for 4s.
Yep.
You can make their channel lightning valleys not draw as often.
Yeah.
Um, but then going into top 8, I played against Arachne Marionette, which was an interesting one. Hadn't played much into that, but
Yeah.
I got it in the end. It was like pretty back and forth though. He had a good amount of disruption, a few Mark of the Black Widows that he was
Yeah.
like double reacting, some crazy stuff. But I eked it out in the end with some good arcane damage. Uh, I then played an Aurora in top 4, not the same one from round 5, just another one.
Yep.
And it was kind of the same story that I was telling you of what could have happened in round 5, where he didn't have many defense reactions and I did.
Hmm.
And in the last round, I played into that same Enigma from round 3,
Yep.
and it went my way again in the end. So, I mean, yeah, I just played my 0 for 4s and all day long, and that was it, really.
Just
Played the good
played
deck.
played by 0 for 4s. They did 4s, and I won the game. I love it, dude. It's just
Yeah.
high level competitive education for those of you at home. Just
Yeah,
drop your
play 0
fours
for
on
4s.
the play 0 for 4s. You know,
4 card 16s, 5 card 20s. They're good.
yeah, it's
I don't
good.
know what to tell you, man.
Arachne Marionette is actually like a weird fringe dark horse deck, though. I think that deck's decent. It's just kind of it's got a little RNG to it, and I think it might be hard to play, but I'm not sure.
I really like playing Arachne Marionette when I'm Arachne Marionette.
Hmm.
I hate playing Arachne Marionette when I'm not Arachne Marionette.
Isn't that the whole assassin conundrum though? Like they're kind of fun to play, but then when you see one, you're like, I hate everything about you.
Kind of, yeah. But it's
Yeah.
like, I think what I mean is the Brood. I hate when I become one of the Brood. I love just being
Oh,
Mario.
but that's like the
Getting that,
whole.
no, that +1 and on hit go again is so strong.
Would it be
I think
better
that's
if
what
you
I
could
wish
deny
Slippery
the
was.
trigger?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You think so? Interesting.
Oh, yeah. If all my stealth cards could forever be 0 for 4s as long as you're marked,
Yeah,
Yeah,
be
I think
good.
that'd be good.
All right. Well, before we dive into the list real quick, you want to give me your shout outs? Anybody want to shout out or talk about your cards, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I gotta thank Jacob Bader, a good local friend of mine. I didn't have this deck. I don't ever keep a deck on hand ever. And I sent him the list and I said, hey, can you give me this 80? And I'll swing by and grab it. And he just handed me the 80,
What a good guy.
and I was able to go play with it. I don't know. Shout out to my Team ABC. I love those guys to death. I
Mm.
love playing Flesh and Blood with them. I wish Ethan didn't hate us and kept put us on coverage, but it is what it is, though.
Yeah, we don't make the calls there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'll
And
go. I'll go. I'll go have my words with Ethan and get it squared out. It'll be fine.
we'll put in a good name for you at LSS.
Hopefully, please.
Cool. Let's dive into the list. So we got the list right in front of us. So undefeated 8-0 Aurora deck list.
Yep.
I guess that Matt did borrow, right? At
Yeah.
least net decked it here a little bit. But you know what? Piloting a list like this and actually performing with it are very, very different things, right? Stealing a list and actually performing with it, very different. So you want to give me a rundown of kind of like what it takes to pilot this list at a level that can win a ProQuest, and what are your like game plans? What are your equipment pieces? Like, what's the combos you're looking for? Take it away, buddy.
Yeah. So I think the main thing is learning how to sideboard with the deck
Okay.
and learning your equipment suites for every matchup. So I think the biggest thing to start out with is equipment.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of matchups where something seems really straightforward, but you don't necessarily do the right thing because there's some small niche cases or other things that might make it a little weird.
Mhm.
I think one of the big ones is the in the mirror into an other Auroras. Most people would play Crown of Providence, where instead I agree with Andre Mengucci that Balance of Justice is the right card in mirror,
Mm.
because there's a couple times in the game where the other Aurora can very easily uh, play an Enlightened Strike, choosing to draw a card and hitting with a Channel Lightning Valley, or
Mm.
doing a couple Enlightened Strikes in a turn, and you can just very easily get that extra draw and have a 6 card hand sometimes with your own Channel Lightning Valley or with an Arc Lightning, and you can have some crazy exponential explosion.
Oh, okay. That's yeah. That's a tidbit. That's good.
Um, I think the other thing is realizing the sideboarding of the physical deck and what you have to take out at times.
Okay.
So the cards that I mainly kept into my sideboard were like the Down and Dirties, the Shelters, the Sink Belows, and the Flicker Wisps, and I think there was one more card, the Snag.
Yeah, that's a clean 60 right there.
This, yep. So when you look at the sideboard, there's these Down and Dirties that definitely don't need to be in the deck anymore.
Yep.
But for this week of Enigma, I think it was the best card in my deck for Enigma.
Wow. Yeah.
Popping a Phantasmaclasm felt
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah, that's like
Made
a
my
high
weekend.
EV card right there. That's a high
Oh
EV
yeah,
card. Yeah.
definitely. I think if we get another Illusionist really soon, it could be one of the strongest cards in the meta. I think it's one of the most underlooked also.
Huh. Yeah, I could see it.
These 0 for 4 defense reactions, also just some of the best cards in the game right now.
Yeah.
Shelter from the Storm, overpriced, 0 for 4. Sink Below, underpriced, 0 for 4. I think they're both just so good, and especially in the mirror. Uh, when we were testing with Matt W, he keeps calling them counterspells because that's essentially what they are, right? Every time my
Yeah.
opponent has a 0 for 4, I counterspell it. I
Yep.
just get to stop it entirely. It won't have an on hit. It won't get Channel Lightning Valley. It won't get Burn Up Shock value.
Yeah.
I just trade card for card. They don't
Yeah.
get to do their really good break points like we used to in the past.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
So my equipment may not have the combo equipment of Aether Ironweave and Crown of Dominion. We still
Yeah.
have a couple Flicker Wisps.
Yeah.
And I think that I might go back up to the third one
Okay.
since we have more Florians, more Verdances, and probably more Vincets going around also.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but I don't think you need the equipment, just the extra Flicker Wisp.
Okay.
That card's so good at pushing damage over these decks with 12, 15 four blocks in them that
Hmm.
are like root bounds, haunting renditions, and all the generic garbage that we have now.
Yeah.
The last one's the snag. If new is like really popular, you could go to a second one. If there's no new in your area or very little, you could cut it.
Hmm.
I never drew it. I never presented it.
Yeah.
It's like I had 79 cards kind of, but I had it just in case.
Yeah. Always running one of just like to hope, it's fine, I guess, right? Like it's just you just hope it
Yeah.
lines up on the right turn.
Yeah, I mean, also in Flesh and Blood, right? We get to see our whole deck, we get to draw 4 cards every turn, go through it quickly. So at
Yep.
some point, I can find it, put it in my arsenal like it's a Poison the Well or a Down and Dirty equivalent, and just let it
Yep.
sit there until they play their Bonds of Agony.
Yeah. Do you play it against any of the other assassins or just new?
I think just new
Hmm.
because having the onboard attack reactions for Bonds is really scary, where the
Yeah.
other decks have to work really hard for them.
Makes sense. And yeah, running 9D reacts, right? Like running 9D reacts in an aggro deck is actually kind of absurd. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so I wanted to make a few changes on this.
Hmm.
Going into the weekend, I kind of wanted to cut Shelter and put in Yellow Citadel of Suffering.
Okay.
I have this really big pipe dream of just drawing a bunch of cards off Citadel of Sufferings
Yeah.
all throughout the game,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's that good.
Yeah.
Blocking for 3 is not blocking for 4, and the
Yeah.
beauty of Shelter is that it was blocking for 4.
Yeah. It just does the job. It does
Yeah,
exactly what you need it to do whenever you need it to do it, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And which
I
matchups did you run all 9 into? Was it just a mirror or
I ran them in the mirror. I played them into that Mario just because I was worried what would happen since I hadn't played into it much.
okay.
So I sideboarded the same for both.
Okay.
And I think I would play them into Slippy also.
Yeah.
I
What do you
think
take
being able to
out?
block some of that stuff
Yeah,
is
it
good.
totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. Like the assassins are just annoying, right? Like so blocking their
Yeah.
damage, especially if like sometimes they'll take a lot of damage to try and attack react and you just shut it down. Okay.
Yeah,
What cards do
definitely.
you take out for the 6 copies?
So into those matchups,
Hmm.
I cut 2 Lightning Press and 1 Electrostatic Discharge.
Okay.
Um, I want to keep 1 Press in the deck because it's kind of good for closing out the game sometimes.
Yep.
And I want to keep a total of 3 of those 6 cards in the deck here. Because just having those instants is really good for Gone in a Flash and Flittering Charge, those type of cards.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the other things I took out were the Exude Confidences.
Ah,
They're
sure.
not as good here. I don't expect many people in the mirror to be playing defense reactions.
Okay.
And if they are, they're usually blocking the Exude with something that is 4 power,
Yeah.
like with a Gone in a Flash or a Archonic Shockwave. So it's just going to turn off the text of Exude.
Yep.
So I just think it's affect it and do too much. And the
Yeah.
other 0 for 4s can get the job done.
Yeah. The other ones typically say go again on them too, right? So okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Exude makes sense to cut there. Okay, and then so this is your core 60. Is there and you run it pretty much 90% of the time, right? So it's like really just when do you run the flicker wisps?
So those come in versus Florian, versus Verdance, and
Okay.
versus Vincent. These
Okay.
matchups that are playing a very large amount of 4 blocks,
Yep.
where they could fatigue you fairly well, and you need to be able to have big bursts of damage into them.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like actually pretty sick. Like it's just like a solid core 60. You've got your
Yeah,
sink belows and your shelters for the defensive against like the aggro decks. You got your down and dirty for the illusionist, flicker wisp for anti-fatigue, snag because new exists. And the rest of the time you're just playing these cards in the right order optimally as possible. Um, do you have any like
yeah.
tips and tricks for the people at home of like where you see like maybe mid auroras or low I don't know lower skill auroras making mistakes?
Yeah, so I think one of the things that a lot of people, I think a lot of the best players have realized this, but a lot of people who are just picking up Aurora or have been playing it
Mhm.
don't truly realize the value of burn up in a lot of these matchups where you could be worried about getting fatigued. And so they'll just play them in 4 card hands instead of saving them to set up big 5 card hands to try and force through the damage of burn up.
Okay. So it's
Getting
like a
that get
no, go ahead.
getting that 4 arcane damage in
Yeah.
a big burst can be just so oppressive to them. If you can resolve 2 of those in a game, your opponent's down 20% of their life
Yeah, it's
most of the time.
crazy.
And I mean, this card is like, if you get to this card is a 0 for 5.
Yep.
And I mean, if 0 for 4s are good, 0 for 5s have to be better, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much, right? It is
Yeah.
it's a 0 for 5. Um, and so you would say that that's extra important against fatigue decks, or do you also try and pocket those against other like aggressive decks, or do you just typically fire them in like the mirror?
Um, I think that's more for fatigue decks, for slower decks.
Okay.
In the mirror, it's kind of better, and into other aggro decks, it's kind of better just to play your stuff and be more aggressive. Because if you're the first person to present lethal and force your opponent to block,
Hmm.
they won't be able to go on the offensive. And when their cards block for 2 to 3, and your cards and your cards attack for 4, you're
Yep.
just going to be able to keep the pressure on them so that they can't attack you.
Yeah, it's like it's just a mathematical like yeah advantage, right? You're doing more
Yeah.
damage. They're forced to give up damage. Your damage continues to go over. Okay. Um,
Yep.
when do you make the decision to activate Aurora's ability versus like send a Starfall or something along those lines? Like what is the decision making process for her hero ability for you?
Well, so if you look down at the blues, there's 3 whole blues in the stack.
Yeah.
So whenever I have one of those blues, we activate Aurora. Or
Beautiful.
anytime that my hand is a really big brick and can't do anything.
Okay. What are the blues for? I mean, like at this point in time, like, is it just because because this card is like why have the blues in the first place?
So current funnel has text on it, contrary
Yeah.
to most people's belief. When
Yeah.
you play an arc lightning, it can give something else after it go again. So
Mm,
you can extend more on those arc lightning turns where you might not have an embodiment, or you might have multiple cards without go again on them.
okay.
So it can just kind of help extend in those turns if you have a couple of them.
Mm,
Otherwise, just having a few blues in the deck for grasp sword in the late game can be really good. Sending that one and
sure.
one.
Yep.
It may not be a Rosetta Thorns 2 and 2, but swinging 1 and 1 when someone's at 1 is Kadachi locking them essentially, where they have to give you 2 cards.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Um, I didn't even
And
think
yeah,
about that. Yeah, it's like a weird end game state, like kind of okay. Because those will
yeah,
naturally just get filtered to the bottom constantly because they're the only blue in the deck. Um,
yeah. We do shuffle though. Skyward Serenade shuffles a fair amount.
True, true. And then any other like tips and tricks that you think is like, is there like a combo or a setup that you did over those 8 games that like really carried you? You know, like
Um, I came when I was first started testing this deck with the armory deck stuff. I came to this realization really quick that playing Skizik out of your hand feels like the one of the worst things this deck can do.
okay,
So I absolutely love bottoming them to Enlighten Strike. I think that's
mm,
my favorite thing to do with this deck, and I think too many people try and just play them out of your hand instead of forcing them back into the deck to make your Serenades better.
that's an interesting one. Yeah. Okay. So it's like use your E strikes if you're running the D reacts, your sync below, send them to the bottom, and then enable your Skyward Serenades later.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think Serenade is one of the strongest cards that this deck received, not because of its pitch or it being a non-attack for if you're playing Face Purgatory. I think it's one of the strongest cards this deck received because it thins your deck. Right, when I
Uh,
play Serenade, I'm getting another card out of my deck, so I'm more likely to find my Channel Lightning Valleys, my Arc Lightnings, my strong, powerful cards like that.
Yeah. Same concept I always said with like Blood Rush, right? Like it's like you
Yeah,
want to filter your deck as fast as possible. If you have extra cards over pitch, use your Sync Billows, use your Fate Scenes. Like the faster you get to the power cards, the faster you can win the game. So that makes a lot of sense, right?
yeah.
Huh. I mean, I think this list is just tight, dude. Like it's just a tight, clean list.
Yeah,
Obviously you're a good pilot, right? We've seen this time and time again. You keep winning. So incredible. But this list is just it's just clean. 60 cards right here does the job. And then you have like a couple
yep,
decision making processes, like just a couple. Huh.
yeah.
Yeah, sick list, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Another list. I'm hopefully they put out another degenerate lightning hero for you to play though. Um,
No, I need LSS to give me something to take Dash IE over the line, man. That's what I really want in my pool.
she's so close. She's so
But she
close.
can't win anything. She got no points in RTN season. She hasn't done anything in like 6 months.
Do you
And
think Slapdash could come back with Enigma Gun?
I think that deck is unplayable. Everyone who plays Control Dash does not know how to play that hero. She's the second best aggro deck in the format. Maximum velocity is broken. Don't get me started on this. I'll waste an hour of your life going on about plasma barrel shot and how it's the most broken weapon in the game. And I
That's
think it sounds like my cats agree.
they do. I heard them charging Dash in the background, just chanting it.
They were.
Yeah. They were. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, Dash just they just need to give her the little nudge. Maybe she'll get something out of the high C set that she can use to push her over the edge. Maybe. Um,
I think she definitely will get something. I mean, we're getting a whole other mech
yeah.
classes worth of cards, so it's got to be good somewhere.
Yep. 0 to 50 couldn't do it. We need something better.
Yeah,
We need
something better than head jab.
something better than head jab. All right, Matt. Well, it was a pleasure. I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your wisdom so other people can hopefully have a chance at getting their shiny, shiny gold foil. Did you open yours?
I did. I got a Null Rune Robe, sadly.
Oh, big sad energy, dude.
I was hoping for one of the new ones. I saw that you can get Kodachis this time. I
Yeah.
was really hoping.
There's Edge of Autumn in there too, right?
I don't think I saw Edge of Autumn. I saw both
Oh.
Kodachis, well grounded.
Hmm.
Betsy's helmet, big time chapeau. For my
Whoa,
Betsy
Betsy's
lovers out
getting
there.
gold foil love. Too bad they forgot about printing her
And
weapon, dude. What happened with that?
I don't know, man. But speaking of weapons, I think Summit was the last one, that Jarl weapon. I think that
Oh
was that
yeah,
last one.
that was a
That
good
one would have
one.
been a cool one to open.
Yeah, that weapon's also a weird one. We need the log though. We just need the log. You know what else we need
Oh,
is a golden
we
rock.
do.
Golden rock would be
True, dude.
sick.
I I know you'd love a golden rock.
I
You'd
would
play with that card at your events too much.
I'd probably I'd start buying them all. You know what I mean? I would probably actually attempt to buy every single one. Uh I'm
That's
putting a
what
bet.
I'm worried about. Duskblade with Min-Max.
Oh yeah, yeah. Me and
You do
Miss
the
Min
same
Max have
thing.
the largest useless collection. I have a 1010 rock behind me. Did you know that? I have
I
like a
did not. That's sick.
I have a graded 1010 rock. Let me get it. Here you go, buddy. Gem 10. Beautiful.
That's good.
Gem 10 rock. All right. Well, you're the best, Matt. I appreciate you. You're always so kind. You're always so nice at tournaments. You always find me the cards I want and charge me exuberantly higher prices than everybody else. But it's a fee I'm willing to pay just because I love you
It's
so
only because I
much.
love you.
I know. You only charge the people you love the most the most. Well, I hope to have you on again
True.
soon. Hopefully, are you going to be going to any major events coming up?
Yeah. So I mean, I've got the rest of this ProQuest season coming out.
Okay.
I don't think we have anything really big in the U.S. coming up for a bit until Nationals,
Yeah, Nationals.
but I'll definitely be at U.S. Nationals.
Okay.
You'll see me in Singapore now,
Oh, Singapore.
and
That's
I
going to be
think,
lit.
oh yeah, Singapore will be fun.
Singapore is going to be
I'm gonna
nuts.
try and do a. I'm not gonna make any promises, but I'm gonna try and do Auckland a couple weeks after that.
Oh, WTR Alpha?
Yeah, Alpha calling on day 2.
That's cool, dude.
I think that'll be a fun event.
That's a high EV event.
Oh, I need everyone to come out to the Kansas City calling. I think that'll be a fun one.
Oh, okay. Come
I think
Spike
it's
is
I think it's
calling.
being I think it's being hosted by your guys, Fab Foundry.
Really?
That's what I was hearing. I
Huh.
don't know if that's public
I did
yet,
not
but
Oh, I didn't know that, but
I hope I didn't leak it,
I'll check
but
before.
I hope everyone shows up. I hope everyone
Do
comes
it.
and plays great games of Flesh and Blood.
Let's do it. All right, Matt, you're the best. I appreciate you so much for coming on. I hope you win all of your pro quests and get the gold foil of your dreams. Let me know if you get any brute ones, and I'll take them off your hands.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
All right, later, dude.
See ya.